Hi everyone, we are here at Bernina, Canada, ready to talk to you about another exciting topic. Another exciting topic today. What could it be? It is going to be, today's topic is embroidery software. Do I need it? What can it do for me? I'm sure we'll answer many more burning questions today. I'm just going to see if you're coming up on my Facebook feed here so I can answer your questions. We have a new setup, and whenever there's a new setup, things can happen. So we'll give it a try. I see us on the feed. All right, we're in, we're here, we're live with everybody. Welcome again to another edition of Bernina Learning Live in the Sewing Hub. We're back in the hub, learning lots of new things. So I hope you're here and excited. Hope you've got lots of questions about Bernina software. Hopefully we can answer some of them today. If you have specific technical questions, your Bernina dealer can help with that. But today I'm here to describe what our three types of software can do. Hey Kathy, hey Janice. Yeah, it's a weird day here in Ontario. It's been very hot. It's been sunny and cloudy and raining and not raining. So Janice is up north and she says it's raining, and where I am, yeah. Okay, Rose Cottage is here. Allie, and you guys can hear us. That's great. Okay, well, thanks for joining. So Bernina software is what we're talking about. If you're into embroidery, you might be considering embroidery software. And in Bernina land, embroidery software ranges from $0 to about $1,000 to about $2,500. And I think there's some confusion about what all of these software packages can do. So today's lecture demo is to kind of help to describe and show you what these packages can do. And I think a good place to start is free. Let's start with the free software. Our Bernina free software is called Artlink, and the current version of software is Artlink 8. And there's actually a really great ebook on Artlink Basics. It's a free ebook. I'll make sure it's on our Pinterest page. And this little 8-page document will get you through almost everything you need to know about Artlink. But I'm going to help you run through it today. We're also going to talk about the high-end Bernina embroidery software, and we're going to talk about Toolbox software, which is our newest software, and it's totally different than the other two. So I'm going to keep that new stuff for the end. But let's start out with Bernina Artlink Software 8. So I am going to switch to the other camera. It's going to show my screen. Here we go. All right, so I've got Bernina embroidery software Artlink up. This is Artlink. It's our free software available on bernina.com. It runs on Windows. So it is a PC-based software. Could you run it on a Mac? You sure could. You just need to use Boot Camp, and then you need a Windows license on top of that. So many Mac users are very successful at using this on their Mac. I have done this myself, and it was not too difficult, but now looking back on this, I, if at all possible, would purchase or borrow, or if somebody has a laptop they don't need anymore, I would get an inexpensive PC to run Artlink. It's just easier than putting it on a Mac, but I can certainly help you do that. All right. Hi, Jane. Hi, Dia. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Elaine. Nice to see you. So here's Artlink software. It's free software. It's basically a viewing software so that you can check out your design. So Artlink actually comes with 47 built-in designs, so you can play with Artlink and designs there. But what I've done is I've purchased this design. This is a Tula Pink design of this snail, and you can see, I can see that it's going to fit in my large oval hoop here. And you can actually audition different hoops. It's really cool. So what you do is I'm just going to right click on the hoop icon, and I can tell the software what machine I have, and it'll show me the appropriate hoops. So you guys know that I have an 830 at home, so I could choose Bernina 8 series, or I could even choose a Bernette. The new Bernettes are in here. An old Bernina 440, they're in here as well. But I'm going to choose 7 series because that's what most of our Bernina users have. Okay, so I can show that it's going to fit in the hoop. And one of the things I do most often with Artlink is print a template so that I can position this correctly on my software or in my sewing machine, my embroidery machine when I get to the embroidery machine. Hey Jane, hey Pam, hey Patty. We're talking software today. So this is Artlink software, free software. So before I print the template, maybe I want to make some minor modifications of this design. And you can certainly do that in Artlink. So what can you do? You can rotate this either by 45 degrees. See, I'm using the button up here, 45 degrees. I can rotate it. This is very common if you need the design to fit sideways in the hoop. Sometimes it's easier to rotate this in software than it is on your machine. So you can easily rotate it. Got an undo button here. I can undo it. If I want the snail to be facing the other way, I can do a mirror image, or I can do a mirror image up and down, right? These are quick edits, easier to do on on my computer than on the teeny tiny sewing machine screen. Now, if you're lucky and you have an 880 plus or 790 or 700, that screen is pretty easy to edit, but on other machines, not as much. All right, so here's my snail. I can also increase it or decrease it. If you look at the bottom of the screen here, it says 18,000 plus stitches, and I can increase the snail, and increase the size of it. I'm going to increase, this button just increased it quickly by 20%, and you'll see that the number of stitches went up to 20,000. If I increased the scale of this design on my sewing machine, it cannot calculate more stitches for me. That's the power of using software, is it can easily calculate in more stitches. If the stitches get too big, past 5 millimeters, it's going to split that stitch and add in more stitches. If I stretch it out more than 20%, fabric might show through the stitches, might not be dense enough. So it's really important that the computer is calculating those stitches for me. I hope that helps you. So we have a quick increase, decrease button here, and you can also increase and decrease by a specific size. I think you can even drag the buttons, the squares here. Yeah, see, and you can make it any size you want. Hey Renee, this is software class. Hope you're ready for some software tips. So that's a really helpful thing that the machine can do for you. You can do the mirror image, you can skew it. This is basically the main things that you can do with this software. I can't bring in any lettering. There's no lettering option for me here. I can't even bring in a second design. This really is a viewing and minor editing software, but it's free and it does a lot of amazing things. So we did the rotation I showed you, enlarging, and it recalculates the stitches. And one of the most important things that I do is I can change the thread colors. Let me show you. If you go into settings and under design, thread colors, this is actually all done in Isacord. This was a design by Embroidery OESD, so they always use Isacord, but you can pick a different thread chart. Here at the bottom, I can pick a different thread chart. A lot of people use Madeira, Robeson Anton, Presentia is really popular, Gutermann, and look, we've even added in glide. Glide thread is in there. So I can load in the glide thread chart, and if I knew my conversions, I could change the gray detail to, I think I'm going to change it to this light gray, and I could say assign, and now color number 1 is not Isacord anymore, it's glide. You would need some sort of conversion chart to be able to do this, but you could certainly change the threads to every thread that you have in your library, or you could audition new threads and it'll change on the screen. I'll show you what that looks like. I'll apply. It's just calculating that for me. and then it will reflect on the screen. All right, now I'm ready to stitch out my design, and I'm gonna preview this design. So I go to print, print preview, I'll be okay. And this is what I just sent to my printer. So I get a really nice to size 1-to-1 image of my design. I know, Julie, I love Glide Thread too. It makes me really happy that they added that library. It shows me every color change. It shows me how long it's going to take, about 32 minutes on my machine, what hoop I'm using, what foot I'm using, how many color changes, how many trims there are going to be, how many stitches, and the size of it. So what I would do is I would print this out, cut this piece off, and use this as a template to actually lay on my garment or my home deck piece or my quilting square, whatever, and make sure my positioning is exactly great. And then I would use this color chart to keep track of my threads and make sure I'm on the right step. Does that make sense for anybody who does embroidery? Sometimes we get lost on which step is which. So yeah, that's one of the main things is I love to print this template out, and that alone is worth the price of Artlink 8 software. Oh wait, didn't I mention it was free? That's what makes it so spectacular. There's lots of great things you can do. So this is the design worksheet that you get when you print out the template. All right, you're ready to send it to your machine. So this is another great thing. You just click on the machine button and you have up to 6 options here. All right, this is the one I use all the time, the EXP, and I would have a USB stick in here, and the Artlink would export this as in EXP format. You guys know that EXP actually has 3 files. I don't think it'll show it if I do that. Nope. It's because I don't have a doodad in there, a USB. But there's 3 parts to an EXP file. There is the EXP file, which is the actual design itself. There's the INF file, and that's the thread color information. So some people forget to copy that over, and then your thread colors don't look accurate on the screen. And the BMP is the thumbnail image of the design, so that your sewing machine, you can kind of see it in the listing there. I hope that helps you guys for why we have 3 different file types in our EXP file type. So that would send the design right to a USB stick, or you could save it to your computer. That's fine too. Maybe we can do that. I'm going to do this. Send it to my computer. All right. Okay, so I saved it, and it would be all 3 files would be all there together. Cool. The other thing you can do is send it directly to your sewing machine. I never really do this because my computer is not near my sewing machine. It's opposite my sewing machine. But some machines require that you send a direct connect. All right, so that would be this one here, send it directly. This one here is also a direct connect. It would send it right to the memory of the computer, of the sewing machine, excuse me, and it would stay saved in the machine. The one at the bottom here that says Art, that is for our Artista 200 and 730 machines. They need it in Art version 4 format, so it would save that directly for them. This one here is for our lovely Artista 165 to 185 machines. And this one here is the Deco. And that would save in a format for the Deco machines, the Deco 330, Deco 340. They need it in a different EXP format. So lots of information. We have lots of ebooks on this sort of thing. I will put that on Pinterest so that you have that for you today. And so you can save it to that. Now, what would happen if you had, oh, Bonnie says, what do I put in Pinterest to find your page with the free ebooks? Bonnie, our page is called BERNINA Canada. And if you get there, you'll see that we have about 12 boards, and then see if you can find that board. And you know what I'll do, Bonnie, is when that's prepared, I'll put a link on the Facebook page. It'll be easier for you. Does that help? Cool. You can actually save files in a different format if you have a different type of machine. The horror. So you can do save as, And you can save this as an art file, an EMB file, all kinds of different files. There actually is a way to export the file. If you export the file, you can save it as a PES, PEC. For those Janome Elna girls, we've got, and guys, we've got Jeff, So, and EMD. We've got all the FAF formats, Singer, all those different formats. Same thing, you can actually open other file formats here. So if you have a VP3 file or a Husqvarna file or a Jeff file or a Singer file, you can open all kinds of files. Let me show you all the types. There you go. All of the types you can open. So this is really great. If you bought a Bernina machine or a Bernette 79 and you need to convert your files, you can use Artlink to convert files. So it's a very useful little piece of software. You can open different embroidery file formats, convert them to other formats, send them to your designs to your machine or a USB stick. You can rotate designs, scale them, mirror image them, skew them, change the thread colors, and print a paper template. So that's a lot of things you can do. What it doesn't do, you really can't create new embroidery designs, and you can't combine embroidery designs. That's more of a higher level software, which I'm going to show you next. You can't really digitize artwork like a design, like children's artwork. You can't really digitize that into an embroidery design. That again can be done in embroidery software, Bernina embroidery software. I'll show you that. And you can't digitize fonts or lettering. And you can't combine lettering with a design. So that's the limitation here. You're really playing with the one design and creating the paper template or doing the minor edits, which frankly, that's usually what I need to do to my design. I'm not doing a lot of design in embroidery software. So let me switch over to Bernina embroidery software. This is our Premiere software. So we're going to go, this is the free one. I'm going to click over to the full one, and you're going to see that it's just a jazzed up version of what we have here. Here we go. All right, so a lot of the icons are exactly the same, but we just added a whole whack of icons here and a whole bunch of tools here. That was the stuff I was saying we couldn't do. We couldn't do lettering, we couldn't do auto digitizing and stuff like that. So a lot of the things people want to do is they want to create their own design. So I'm just going to go here to a fresh page. And so auto digitizing is automatically taking a picture and copying it and changing it into embroidery stitches, or you can create one from scratch. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to digitize, and I'm going to make a closed object. And let's just say I was making a shape of my own. You just click and click and click and create lots of nodes. If you left click, you get these square nodes. If you right click, you get curves. So now I'm right clicking. So I've made this shape, this weird shape, and I'm done with it. And if I want to, I can change the nodes, change the angles on the nodes, all that stuff. I can change the fill. So right now it's just got sort of a satin stitch fill. I can change it to candle wicking. I can change it to a weird 3D effect. I can change it to a fill stitch. I can change it to cross stitch. So many things you can do with this. Of course, you can change the color of the stitches too. You can add more colors and stuff like that. So many things you can do with Bernina embroidery software. You can even take one little design. I just loaded this. This was a free design that came with this software. It's called Mandala 2, I think. And you can rotate this, resize it, you can break it apart, you can change the colors, all those basic things, but you can actually create new designs with this one. This is a tiny little design. This is, I'm trying to see how big this design is, 1/4 of an inch by 1 1/4 inches. That's all it is. And what I want to do with this design is I want to make a new design out of it. I want to kind of make a wreath out of it. So I'm going to click the wreath tool, and I'm going to tell it how many objects I want. I think I want an odd number. I want 7. And now as I move my mouse over the screen, I'm getting an entirely new design. Oh, there. I like this one. That's cool. I can copy this and do it again. Let's do it again. And I can make an entirely different wreath. There we go. So same object, but entirely different look out of that same little motif. So you can be so creative with this software. You can use a globe effect. Do you see how this looks like the globe is coming out sort of 3D? This is an amazing effect that's on BERNINA Embroidery Software 8. You can use a knife and cut a design and insert another design. So I had this word BERNINA. I cut it apart and put a different fill in the top and in the bottom. And then I put in this word Embroidery Software 8. A lot of people are doing this with monograms and last names and things like that. So like imagine this said Smith and you cut it apart and you could put, you know, established 2009, something like that, whatever it is. So the knife tool is great. You can also cut out parts of your design. So lots and lots of great things to learn with BERNINA Embroidery Software 8. Some new features include couching. So you can do embroidered couching. This is just the regular design and then we added couching. Can you see the red lines? So cool. And sometimes you might buy a design that's too large to fit in your hoop. You can actually use software to break it apart into the most usable hoop sizes. So this one just calculated the hooping for me. You just click on a button. This is a very large design. This is 6.5 by almost 10. And it didn't fit in my hoop properly, so this is a midi hoop. I could put it in a bigger hoop, but I wanted to see if I could split it into 2 designs, and here it is, 2 designs. And then you can print the template out like we did before, and you can actually see how these designs are going to sew out. That's really fun too. If we go back to design 1, we have a player here, and you can actually play and see how it's going to stitch out. And you can see this also on in Artlink. So you can kind of see the order of things, how they're going to sew out. You can change the sequence of things in software and all that kind of thing. Hey everyone, hey Bonnie, hey Judy, we are talking software today. So that's BERNINA Embroidery Software. This runs, again, it's Windows based. So you need a PC, or you can run it on your Mac, but you'll need to run Bootcamp and have a Windows license to get that running. Totally doable. Done it myself. Oh, no tears involved, just a couple cups of tea and I figured it all out. All right, so those are our 2 sort of traditional types of software, the free one, Artlink 8, and the more heavy-duty one in BERNINA Embroidery Software. Before I forget, I want to mention that don't be frightened by BERNINA Embroidery Software 8. We have a mastery class for this, sometimes available at stores when stores reopen, but the workbooks are available on bernina.com, and you can get the 4 mastery workbooks. It's broken up into 4 topics. It's really great and free, and you don't even need software. If you're just interested and you think you're interested in software, you can download the mastery books for free. And the other thing is, if you think you're interested in software, you could start with BERNINA Artlink software first, the free one, and I would play with that a bit. Hey, Carolyn. And then I would add the BERNINA Embroidery Software, the big one, version 8. We have a free download. You can download this $2,500 software for free and use it for 30 days on your computer. So you might want to try that if you're considering software, because it's a big investment. You want to be sure. So if you were thinking about embroidery software, I would certainly download the mastery books, take a look at them, and then run through it in the embroidery software itself. All right, now the pièce de résistance is that we also have a new software called Toolbox. Let's go over there. Toolbox, what's great about it is it runs directly on a PC or directly on a Mac. Woo, yes, finally. And not only that, you can run it via the cloud. So you can actually do things on your cell phone. You can do things on your tablet um, as well. So very versatile software. There are 3 modules to this software. Let me show you a couple of them. Let's start a new file. I love this software. When you hit new file, it starts with asking you the name for the file. We're going to call this Facebook Live. So I never forget to save my work because we start out by naming the file. Facebook Live test. Okay. So I'm created a new software, a new file, and like I said, there were 3 different modules. So you can create a monogram. That's one module. Let's look at monogramming. I'm going to create my initials are not the best for monogramming, but we're going to try it. So my middle initial is also A, so I'm going to change that to A. All right, then you get to choose an alphabet, and they're all laid out here. Don't know why it's still stuck on C today. It's like me, it's kind of, you've got lots of scripts, you've got lots of formal things, lots of very botanic things. How cute is that monogram? Aren't they adorable? I think they're great. One click, you know, a couple of clicks, and I have a monogram. It's pretty amazing. Now, you might want a 2 or 3 letter monogram. It thinks my middle initial is C. It really is not. Let's go to 3 letter, and then it'll tell me you need another letter. Let's change it. It's making me crazy. There, I made a really cool 3-letter monogram in just a couple of clicks. Let's try a different one. If you want to see what the whole alphabet looks like, you just click on this little guy, and it shows you what the whole alphabet looks like. So easy, right? I love it. I used this to make a monogram in 30 seconds, the one that I sewed on my Converse shoes, my high tops. Really cool. So again, that's how easy it is. You put your letters in, you pick the monogram style that you want, and away you go. So I'm going to go back and fix this one. If you want, you can add a decoration, a frame, or a flourish to your beautiful monogram, and they look amazing. I was very skeptical and I didn't like them, and I've stitched them out and they look amazing. And like, this is one of my favorites. One click and it's done. Julie, yeah, I love this software too. It's so intuitive. It's completely different than our Artlink and BERNINA embroidery software. I find that it's really quick to learn. Anyway, I could make a whole class on monograms, except it would only take 10 minutes because I just taught you everything you need to know about monograms. Yeah, that's it. You just go through and select whatever you want, and it's just done in a couple seconds. And the designs are gorgeous. Look at this one, the filigree one. Oh, I did it on the wrong monogram. I'll put it over here. Put it over here. Boop, boop, boop. My colors don't look great in this one, but there's so many beautiful ones. This is the one I did on my shoe. It just looks great. Oh, I don't need 3-letter. I just want 1 letter. Thanks. There you go. And I didn't do it with a B for BERNINA. I did it with an A for Adrian. And of course, you can resize these, no problem. You can rotate them, you can resize them, whatever you need to do, and then you can save them. Of course, you might want to change the color of them. That's doable too. My brain is just, I'm having a moment where I can't remember where to change the color. Just did too many things today, you know. So those are those. I'm going to just remove those here. Now, you can bring in a design and combine it with lettering. So I could have brought in my purchased snail and written something, a message underneath. I'm going to get rid of this monogram, so cute. But you also get free designs with Toolbox. So I think for every module you buy, you get about 100 designs. So I'm just clicking here to add a design, and it says I want to import a design. And here's the great thing. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of designs in the cloud, and then you just get to choose. We don't dictate which 100 that you have to have, you get to choose the ones that you want. And I just take one at a time as I need them. I've used about 10 designs in the 4 years I've been using the software, 3 years I've been using the software. So this is just taking a little while because I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm using 2 different computers here and streaming to a phone as well. But this is just a taste of the designs. There's thousands and thousands of them, right? So I could just choose this little sewing bee, or the, sorry, I looked at the bee and the sewing machine at the same time, and I said sewing bee. Sewing machine. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today, right? So here's my sewing machine. I've got some information here that it's a small one. It's only a couple, it's about 1 inch by 1.5 inches. It's got 3 colors. Yep, that's the one I want. I'm going to take that one. And that's how quick it is to download a file. And I see your question, Carolyn, about what font would you use for a quilt label. I will show you that in a second. So there's my little sewing machine. And let's say we want to add some lettering to it. You would need the lettering module. Remember I said that this comes in 3 modules. One module was the monogramming. We saw that already. Another module is the editing module, which is the one I'm using right now because I'm putting some things together. And the last one is the fonts, the lettering. So I'm going to go to lettering. Thanks, Carolyn. That was a great idea to ask me that. I'm just going to show you a quick little bit, and then I'll talk about quilt label. That's really a good idea. So here I could put a little message, so fun, and I could pick a shape for this. I could pick an arc. I can pick a circle. I'm going to go with this arc. Then I'm going to choose a script, and I know that I like candy script. So I'm going to go there. And I can now size this. I can rotate it. Yeah, so Sarah hates it when I say like so fun, S-E-W. She's like, that is just an old man joke. So I'm going to do it just to irritate her. You can also change the character style. You can do all kinds of different things. You can create like a text box. Let me show you. So the lettering could be in a different shape. So Carolyn was asking what font would you use for a label. So let's just get a new one. I'm going to put this away. Right, and I'm going to click on off and I'm going to click back on. All right, so if we were doing a quilt label, let's just say the name of our quilt was called Inspiration, and I would choose a different alphabet. Choose a very a thinner one, because otherwise it's going to be very, very big, right? There's some categories here too. 2-color fancy hand-drawn script. Nope, I don't really want to search in there. So you would want to find something smaller. So I would have to play with this a little bit, Carolyn, to get the ones that I like. Lucidia's usually good. Oh, I lost it. Lucia, there she is. Nope, I don't like it in that. Micro is usually the great ones for quilt labels because you want to keep them small. And I actually know these much better in BERNINA embroidery software. We have some really great scripts for that. So I'll have to play with that and get you the right font for a quilt label. Oh, I like this one. This one is nice. All right. So I can do this and then I can make it much smaller. I can again put it into a little text box if I wanted to have a shape. Just a couple of clicks and it's done. Really kind of easy. So you could do multiple words here, Carolyn, and then you could align them to the left, align them to the right, so on and so forth. You could change the sizing. This is now, these are 1-inch letters. That's pretty big for a quilt label. I prefer something like a little more than ½ an inch, right? A little more than a centimeter. That would be really cute. And you can do multiple lines here, and it's really easy to line them up. Yep, let me see if I can put in more here. Nope, it doesn't want to. So what I would do is just add another line. Let's put in I'm going to put in by Adrian G 2000. Oops. Yep. So you see it copied what I did before, right? And then I can easily line them up just using this red guideline. And I can stretch it, I can rotate these, pretty easy. So very easy to do to make it. Yeah, Bernina Designer software is very easy to make. So I'm glad this helped you, Julie, decide which software is which. So this software that I'm showing you right now, this is Toolbox, and again, runs directly on a Mac or a PC, and you can have some applications on your tablet and your phone. That has 3 different modules. So monogramming, my personal favorite, editing, which you would need to combine designs, and lettering. If you bought the whole package, it's about $1,000, I think. And it's, if you buy them individually in Canada, I think it's about $3.99 for each module. So you get a much better deal if you buy it all together. You can get a free 30-day trial, woohoo, of all of the modules for any computer. Yeah, so definitely go to BERNINA.com, go to the software tab, and you can download the software for free. This does come with a really nice little 22-page document. That's all you really need to get going in Toolbox. And there are a million bajillion tutorials for this on the Bernina International YouTube channel. I'll put a link in that. Rose, can you group? I don't think you can group so much in this. You can group. I just duplicated, but yes, absolutely you can group in this software. The reason you would want to group, for people who don't know, is that if you grouped these two together and then I did an enlargement of 20%, it would group both, it would do that modification to both pieces at once. Same thing here, if I grouped these two together, if I rotate this now, it's only going to rotate so fun. But if I wanted to rotate both of them, I would have to group them together. Yep, absolutely, you can do it. It's got an undo button, which is my most favoriteest button because I click really fast and make mistakes, and no big deal. You can fix it. And then these are all saved on my computer. Again, you can definitely print out your template. So let's see what this one looks like. It's getting it ready for me. And then, oh, I had too many things open, so it's going crazy on me. No big deal. And then you can also send it to your USB stick or save it on your computer. It's ready to go. So those are the main softwares. I think Artlink is a great software to start with. It's free and it can do a lot of things. Predominantly, I use it to change threads, print out that template and stuff like that. So if you're interested in software, we have lots of information on Bernina.com. Like I was saying, we have ebooks about Artlink, so that gets you going. We have the little book for Toolbox. This is all you need for Toolbox, 22 pages with lots of pictures. That's all I need for Toolbox. It's great. And then if you want to get into the high-level Bernina Designer software, we have 4 ebooks on this, and it's divided into topics. So basic functions are in booklet 1. Booklet 2 is automatic digitizing, so that's how to digitize artwork into logos and things like that. Workbook 3 is advanced features, so some of those effects I was showing you, the globe and the knife and all that stuff, that's a really great booklet. And then the 4th one, I didn't even tell you about the stuff that this can do. This is the applications that are within our Bernina embroidery software. You can actually, we have an application called Quilter. You can lay out an entire quilt. In it, you can make quilt blocks. You can calculate how much yardage. It's like a little mini e-quilter in our Bernina embroidery software. And we have a cross-stitch application. You can design cross-stitch lettering and cross-stitch samplers and stitch it out on your embroidery machine in no time. rather than doing it by hand. I'm currently working on a hand sewing project during my vacation, and I'm done with hand sewing. I'm going back to the machine when I get back to work next week. So does anybody have any more questions? I think that's all the questions we had on software. I hope this was a great overview to get you excited about software. I hope you'll try it. You certainly don't need it if you don't have an embroidery machine. If you do have an embroidery machine, I really do recommend trying out software. It really does enhance the experience, make it easier, and make your embroidery better. So thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you again next Thursday with another exciting topic. I think I'm going back to heirloom sewing next week. I'm not sure, but I'll definitely be here at 3 p.m. on Thursdays. Set an alarm. See you then. Bye.